Are we really free? In this world, we often feel like we can choose everything. Well, technically that's true. Right now, you can do whatever you want. You can choose to do the laundry, take a shower, go out, play, or even just roll around in bed. That's all free will. But those are choices with ordinary consequence. When we're faced with a choice that carries serious consequence, does free will still really apply? Of course, this issue is different for everyone. It depends on the environment they grow up in, how their parents raised them, and again, who we are as individuals. To truly understand whether we are free to choose, we need to recall every major step and decision we've made in life. In this video, I make use of a few extreme examples. Let's start from the very beginning. When we were born, did we decide to be born? Theoretically, could we choose our parents? Could we decide how they treat us, whether they be capable, financially stable, and so on? Theoretically, we didn't choose what family we were born into. If we could, no one would choose to be born into a broken family or in a toxic environment. We couldn't choose where we are born, where we were born. Heck, we couldn't even choose whether we to be born at all. It's out of our control, based on human logic. Sure, I know that certain religious beliefs say we can choose to be born or not, but for now, let's set aside the spiritual aspects. Let's continue. We didn't get to choose being born. That was the result of your mom and dad having sex, and eventually one of the millions of sperm cells fertilized the egg and created a fetus. That fetus became you. It was a very small possibility. Maybe your parents had sex one cool night just to satisfy their desire, and without realizing it, you happened. You were born. You had no choice in the matter. Now, once we are born and become human, what kind of major choice do we face? Maybe we don't think too much about it when we are under 10 years old. That's fair, we're just kids. Our parents choose everything for us: what we eat, what we wear, where we go to school, even what brand of milk we drink. All of that is under their control. Sure, some kids rebel early. They don't want to eat certain foods, don't like being treated a certain way, but deep down, we can't really fight back. Free will during this phase depends heavily on our parents and environment. If your parents are supportive and nurturing, they may allow some independence. But if your parents are abusive or emotionally unstable, any form of rebellion may just lead to punishment or violence. So again, our free will is limited by two factors we didn't get to choose: our parents and our environment. Then we become teenagers. And that's where the rebellion and freedom phase begins. We start craving autonomy. We want to choose our own school, maybe go to the one where our elementary friends are going, but again, that choice isn't always up to us. You can just enroll in junior high by yourself. You need your parents' permission and signature. Still, this is the age where rebellion kicks in harder. Our parents notice we are growing up, thinking more independently. Slowly, they start giving us more freedom. Maybe they won't bug us about homework anymore. They might let us be more responsible for our own schoolwork. You can choose to do it or not. But if your grades start to drop, your parents might take back control. They could limit your playtime, force you into tutoring programs. So are you really free to choose? Sure, you can skip class or ignore the rules, but then your parents might go ballistic and take things further than expected. When you're in X 12 to 17, your young soul starts boiling. Your social circle, your environment, this will shape the direction of your life and determine the things you wish to choose freely. For example, you might fall for someone at school. You know you can choose to oppress them, ask them out, maybe make them your partner. That's entirely your choice. But again, it won't always go your way. You can choose who you like, yes, no problem. You can choose to ask them out. That's free will. But free will doesn't always come with the outcome you want. You might ask them out, but they might say no, and that's okay. We have control over what we want to do, but the result involves other people's feelings, and we can't force those. Youth is honestly the most fun phase of life. For most people, including myself, we feel on top of the world, capable of anything. You are still free to dream and choose what you want. This is why many people believe that high school years are the best time of their lives. It makes sense until we move into the next phase, our 20s, the era of the infamous quarter life crisis. Why? Why do so many people face a crisis in this space? The answer varies, but it all goes back to the choice we make. This is a major transition from the carefree teenager we thrown straight into the deep pool of adulthood. And believe me, to all the teenagers out there, growing up and becoming an adult is not as fun as you think. Ask anyone between the ages of 20 and 30s, and I'm sure most will agree. This is a tough pace. Adulthood demands sacrifice. You start right after high school graduation. Now, what do you want to do? The answer, it depends. Some can choose, and others cannot. Some kids are already prepped by their parents to enter a specific college major. They were groomed to become doctors, lawyers. They were assigned a career path that they might not even want. Clearly, that's not freedom of choice. Parents might argue it's for their child's benefit, and they may be right. They grow up in a generation that idealizes those careers, believing they guarantee a stable life. No parents wants to see their child struggle. But sometimes their vision clashes with what their child actually wants or is good at. On the flip side, some kids want to pursue a certain major, but their parents can't support them, either to either due to financial reason, disagreement with the major choice, or not wanting their child to move far away. The parents have the reason, and now their child, you, has no say in the matter. If your parents are still funding you, they might consider most of your opinions invalid. So the question remains, are we really free to choose in this space? Well, if you are lucky, maybe yes. You might get to pick the university and major you want, if your parents are willing to pay for it. Or maybe you'll decide to take a different career path, if that's your desire. Or maybe you'll work hard, get scholarship, eliminate your dependence. And that might be the truest form of freedom. I mean, who's to say? But there are so people who drift, unable to make their own decisions. They are not skilled enough to earn scholarship, but also not knowledgeable and capable enough to get a job. They don't know their potential, let alone how to develop it. Some don't even know what they want to do at this stage, and that group is not small. In fact, they might be the majority. In your 20s, you'll face more choice. You'll face more choice than ever before. There are so many possible paths your life could take, all depending on the choice you make. It's like driving. There are hundreds of turns. Turn left here, turn right there. And every turn you take will lead you to a different destination. But here's the crazy part. You don't get a map. There's no Waze, there's no Google Maps, no signboard saying, turn left if you want to succeed, turn right if you want to live happily. Go straight for financial freedom. There's none of that. You drive without knowing what lies ahead. Now, how do you decide which way to turn? You'll ask people around you. You'll listen to your parents, your friends, your idols. You'll hear their advice, and you'll try to filter it. But here's the thing, not everyone is right. Even though they speak with confidence, their words aren't always the truth. And even if their advice is right for them, it may not be right for you. So in the end, you have to choose for yourself. But what if you don't even know who you are? What if you don't understand your strengths? What if you never got the chance to explore yourself because life pushed you into survival mode and this one? Again, are we really free to choose? Some people say we are born free. The rest is just consequence. That might be true, but consequence define our next choice. And that's where the illusion of freedom begins. When you are poor, you can just choose to pursue your dream. When you are breadwinner, you can just choose to take a break. When you are traumatized, you can just choose to be confident. And when you are living in fear, you can just choose to take risks. So again, I ask, are we really free to choose? Maybe yes, but not everyone start from the same starting line. And that makes all the difference.